watching you, so come on. Ain't no waiting, no escaping. No, no, no. Free forever. So much better. I know one thing, yeah, I know me, I ain't worried.
Hey family, welcome back to my channel. It comes natural. We're being you. It should come natural. So welcome back, and this is part 2 of our Natural Hair 101 series called Know Thy Hair. Okay, I feel like that's one of the top most important things when it comes to natural hair. If like there had to be like a top natural hair commandment, you know, like in the Bible, one of the greatest commandments is to love the Lord God with all of your heart, mind, and soul, and then to love your neighbor as you would love yourself. Okay, that, you know, that's one of the greatest commandments. You know, Jesus, you know, he hit the Pharisees, hit the, you know, the religious people with that in the Bible. And so I feel like, you know, as a woman of faith, if I would correlate that to my natural hair, I would say that knowing thy hair is probably one of the most important things that we need to do as naturals. It's so easy to get caught up in the, you know, in the comparison game and, ooh, you know, I want to get my hair like hers. But the reality is your hair might not be able to do what her hair can do because of the different components. So within the Know Thy Hair, we have the big 3, okay? Number 1 is hair density. So what is hair density? All hair density is, in simple terms, is how thick your hair is, okay? So basically, hair density is just hair thickness, like how many strands of hair you have like compacted onto your head. I would definitely classify my hair as, you know, medium to thick hair when it comes to my hair density. So that is your hair density, and it's important to know that because depending on how thick your hair is, it's going to determine a particular style. So I've been so guilty of this. I have a lot of different hair influencers, natural hair influencers that I follow, and you know, I kind of find myself comparing and being, you know, envious of their particular hair, or kind of getting upset because, and we all do it, you know, you watch natural tutorials and you look at their hair and their hair comes out this way, and then your hair come out like this, and you like, what? Like, no, I followed every step. But we have to realize that our hair is different. So depending on your density, your twist outs might look different from her twist outs. And so everybody's hair is different. So that's number 1, hair density. Number 2 is hair porosity. So porosity is basically how well your hair absorbs moisture or absorbs water. But, you know, just how much and how well your hair absorbs, water and moisture. And so if your hair is low porosity, that means that your hair cuticle is like closed. It's like just shut. And the moisture is really, and the water is really hard to get inside, okay? It's really hard to get inside. If you have high porosity hair, which my hair is highly porous, that simply means that my hair cuticles, instead of being like this, they are wide open and the moisture gets in, but just as easily as it gets in, it goes out. So with low porosity and high porosity, you kind of essentially have the same problem. You have problem, you know, retaining, or you have problem with your hair being moisturized. But with low porosity, it's hard for it to get in. So you have to be strategic in how you layer your products, what products you use to keep your hair moisturized in order to keep that moisture in. And then with high porosity, with like myself, it's really easy for me to, and I've been this way really for a while, and it is possible for your hair porosity to change from the research that I've seen and I've researched how your hair, depending on what you do, it can change. But I'm gonna just be honest, it's been pretty consistent. I remember, you know, being really young, and my mom used to always tell me, you know, oh, her hair, it just soaks up some grease. Okay, like my mama will grease my scalp, grease my hair down, and the next day it will be just as dry as it want to be. And that's just simply because it's really, really hard for high porosity, high porous hair to retain moisture, because my cuticles are so open that the moisture is going in, but it's leaving out just as quickly. So that's number 2, which is porosity. And then number 3 is your hair pattern, or what others like to say, which is hair typing. Now, there's some people who are opposed to hair typing. I'm not necessarily against it. You know, I guess you could say I'm kind of for it, but I don't mind. Some people kind of don't like to get into the hair typing because people can kind of use that and be misguided. So if I claim to be a 4C, then I could look at someone else who has 4C hair, and I can think that my hair is going to do the same thing that they're going to do. But you have to realize that all 3 of these factors go together. So I might have 4C hair, but I might have thin 4C hair, or I might have thin, low porosity 4C hair. And so you're like, Kayla, why are you spitting out these numbers? So basically with your hair type, you have this chart here. And this chart simply, it goes from 1 all the way to 4. And so 1 being the lowest, meaning this is like straight hair. And then the higher you get, when you get to the 4s, the more curly and the more tightly curled the hair is. So 1 is on the lower end of the spectrum, meaning your hair is straight, doesn't really curl up at all. And then you have 4 and 4C, and you have just within every number, you have like the levels. So you have 1, which is like 1A, which is like straight, and you got 1B, which is like slightly wavy. You catch my drift. So basically, as you go along the spectrum, your hair is getting curlier and curlier and curlier. And so 4C, my hair pattern is tightly curled. Like my curls are so tight that sometimes it's hard for you to see, or it's hard for my curls to be defined. That doesn't mean that my curl pattern can't be defined, but it just simply means that my curls are just tighter. So my curls aren't loose, so it's not as easy to quote unquote see my curls. And so that is, you know, hair typing. And, you know, a lot of times people can get into the hair typing, and again, you have that whole comparison. And I'm going to be honest, in the natural hair community, sometimes 4C hair can be looked down upon. It's the more kinkier hair type. It's the more hair type that is the less manageable. And so for all of my 4C ladies out there, I'm just going to be honest with you. Sometimes it can be, you know, discouraging. Sometimes we get in our feelings and we see our friend over here who has a looser curl pattern, and they can, you know, do the wash and goes. You know, like I was saying in part 1, it's easier for them to do wash and goes. Wherever you fall on the spectrum, it doesn't matter. Make no mistake about it. All of our hair is beautiful, however God created it. And so basically, the first step to really being successful in your natural hair journey is you've got to learn your hair. This has been a game changer for me when I really started paying attention, and when I found out, you know, that my hair was on the thicker side. When I found out, especially that porosity, that one is very, very important, because it's going to tell you what products you need to use. It's going to tell you how to layer your products. You really have to be strategic so your hair gets the correct amount of moisture that it needs. So knowing your hair and learning that hair is so important to your natural hair journey. So that's the big 3. Thank you guys for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something. And stay tuned for part 3. If you have not, make sure that you have liked and subscribed. Comment down below. Let me know what you thought about this video. If you know your hair, then comment down below. Let me know what's your hair type. Are you a thick natural? You know, is your hair on the thinner side? Just let me know your thoughts down below. And I will see you next time. Peace.
Ain't worried.